Hey, everybody. It is so good to be here. It is so good to see you here. I just wanted to let you know that this class is intended to really help you when it comes to figuring out how you can do that whole natural way of living, how it's supposed to look, especially when you're living in the city. Okay. You're at a point now where you probably want to find some natural solutions to support your mind, your body, and your spirit. But where do you start? How do you know what's harmful and needs to be tossed out, and how do you know what you need to keep, and how do you use all these quote natural things like essential oils and diffusers? Well, today I just want to walk you through a few of those things. This is going to be kind of a shortened form of that, but it's really, and it's a whole new way of thinking. We're moving into an area where we're not talking simply about treating symptoms, but we want to start looking at how to support your whole body, how to support all the systems so your body can heal itself and function as it was really designed to do. And this can seem overwhelming at times, but if you can take some small steps towards your goal towards a healthier lifestyle, it's going to be a lot easier. And I'm here to help you with that today. I'm going to be sharing part of my story as we do that. So let me just kind of introduce myself to many of you. I'm Dr. Nozella. I'm a doctor of education, super passionate about empowering people to achieve the quality of life that they desire. Professionally, I'm a director emeritus of a university urban extension office, and there I managed a couple of federal nutrition programs. I had the opportunity to teach for over 15 years in the schools and in the community, and to research a lot of the things about health and wellness. I'm a professor, a writer, a speaker, a researcher, and a consultant. And like many women, I struggled to live that balanced life. I've had a lot of issues on my own, but one thing that I've learned is that I have to be really intentional. I have to be proactive in taking care of myself. And that means really taking some time out to take care of my body. I have to invest in my body, mainly because I believe my body is a temple of God. And I believe that being proactive to support our body will allow it to heal itself. So I'm super excited to talk to you about this topic today, because in addition to the research that I've done over the years, I've had some firsthand experience about today's topic. I didn't know it at the time, but I was doing some super dangerous things that were really harming my health. And I just want to share some of my journey with you and how I regained my health and how I escaped some of the high cost of healthcare. I was pretty sick as a kid, so I don't want you to think that I inherited any special healthy genes, okay? I had a lot of unexplained fainting spells. I didn't have the energy that most kids had. My mother took me to a lot of different doctors. They said nothing was wrong with me. It was all in my head. My mother didn't buy that. She started to do her own research, and actually she started to look back at some of the ancient and alternative medical traditions, and she was way ahead of her time. When I was with her, I functioned pretty well, but when I got married, hey, I thought I was grown, okay? That was about 45 years ago, and I kind of ditched a lot of what my mother taught me, and I started to adopt the standard American diet and the standard American lifestyle. And within the first year, I was sicker for longer than I can ever remember. I was so fatigued. I would sleep all night. I'd wake up feeling like I'd been fighting all day. And there was a friend, I was in Illinois at the time, and she was bringing dinner over to me because I couldn't even get up to fix my own dinner. And she recommended that I see this doctor that was a natural doctor. And I had studied nutrition in school, and we were taught that they were quacks. And so I wasn't so sure about this, but I was so sick that I wanted to try anything. And he would be the one that would begin to change my life, because he said something to me that I had never heard. He did one test. He noticed that my blood sugar was dropping, and he said, instead of giving me a bunch of meds, he said, "Young lady, I'm going to give you a diet." And he said, "If you don't make some lifestyle changes now, you're going to have diabetes by the time you're in your 30s or 40s. You'll probably have heart disease as well." And diabetes ran in my family. And so I definitely didn't want that, but that started my wellness journey. And then one of the biggest milestones would be a few years later, because when I moved from Illinois back to here, I had a hard time finding a doctor that supported the things that he had taught me. And so I had another issue with some respiratory problems. And I had a friend that came over to me, and she noticed how I was struggling to breathe. And she asked, could she put some essential oils on the bottom of my feet? And I thought she was a little crazy and wanting to do this, but she did that. And I started to breathe better. And I bought a few of those oils. I liked the way that they work, but I thought they were a little expensive. And I had heard of all other kinds of things about the way they were marketed and stuff like that. And so I tried some different things. I ended up wasting a lot of money. And I'll be honest with you, I was uninformed about the business model. And so I ended up coming back to Young Living. And I'll be talking about that a little bit more today. That was over 15 years ago. And while I'm not perfect, I'm still working to improve my health. At my last doctor's appointment, my doctor, she just smiled. She said, hey, you got the health of someone that's 15 years younger. I say to God be the glory. I thank God for what he taught me, what my mom taught me, and the things I've learned over these years. And I just want to share some of those things with you today. So let's start out, because I want to start out with the essential oils and what they are, where they come from, and why they have been so helpful for me. But first, let me just tell you that what I'll be talking to you today about is not intended to replace the advice of your healthcare provider, to diagnose you, to treat you, to prevent or cure any disease. I am a doctor of education. I'm really committed to helping you have access to the resources and knowledge to take control of your health. I love doing research. I love learning and then sharing it with others. And this information is only for educational purposes. It's so important that you do your research and you seek out a health provider that's going to align with your values and your goals for your health. Okay, let's dive in. This is a quote from Dr. Furman, and I want you to just think about it because he wrote it in 2019, and he recognized that it was so important at that time that we did research, not just in the medical and pharmaceutical and things, but that we started to do some research in natural and nutritional science so that we could begin to empower people. He wanted people to be able to take charge of their health. And he recognized that if we continued on the current lifestyle habits that people were on at that time, that something environmentally terrible was going to happen. At the time, they were just looking at the explosion of cancers occurring. Well, we know in the last 3 years what happened. And I think it was a wake-up call for us all. And it reminds us more and more of how important it is for us to have this information and to empower ourselves so that we can protect our health and the health of our families going forward. So let's think about this. Before the development of all the science and medicine, people had to rely on the plants, right? The earth and their common sense. And God had kind of designed it that way. And they would experiment with the plants and all the things that are around them. And then throughout the years, they began to do more experimentation with plants. And then they began to add their own things on, and they discovered some powerful drugs. Many of them are still in existence today, like aspirin. So why in the world, when you think about it, do we want to go back to nature and not just solely rely on what's available to us in the store and online? Well, although some of those things were beneficial at times, things that exist today can really expose us to toxins. Toxins exist in everyday products like your shampoo, your soap, your laundry detergents, your lotions, your makeup, the air fresheners. We can even be exposed to toxins in our food, the building materials, your cookware, your cleaning products, shower curtains. You notice that strong smell, furniture, carpet, your car exhaust, all of those things. When these toxins start to accumulate in our bodies, you can start to experience symptoms of toxic overload. Things like fatigue, things like insomnia, things like anxiety, depression, digestive issues, brain fog, skin issues, a lot of hormonal disorders, so many things. And who wants all that? Okay. But they're really silent culprits, okay? It creates an overload in the body, which can lead to all of these problems. So a little bit could be okay, but we've got so much hitting at us now. Okay. And as someone raised in the city, I mean, I was raised next door to a dump. Okay. My toxic load is greater than someone that's raised in a rural area in a pristine natural environment, lots of trees, lots of plants. Okay. And we know that 70 to 80% of all doctor visits are lifestyle related. Okay. Because of diet, fitness, stress management, and the need to reduce toxins in the environment and the personal products and food. Right now, most of the average people that we know are spending almost $500 a year just on over-the-counter drugs. And it's not covered in their health insurance, and it can be expensive. And the problem is they're just managing symptoms. They're just managing health conditions that are convenient, but they're not really treating their systems, okay? And that's why I want to tell you a little bit about of my story, okay? Because I didn't have a great relationship with nature. I like I said, I grew up on a dump. My experiences with the farm were not great. I didn't do well with the outhouse, the mosquitoes, the snakes, the critters, the eggs. The chickens didn't even like me when I was trying to collect the eggs. So I honestly prefer the city. I prefer camping at the Holiday Inn. Okay, convenience is the name of the game for me. Yet as I began to learn more and more of the importance of nature on health, I began to look for ways that I in the city can actually have the benefits of nature through the plants, through maybe a small garden, which I'm working on, the home plants, and other ways to bring nature into my home. And so that's what I want to be sharing with you a little bit today, just quickly. So let me ask you, are you ready to make a change? Okay, when I started to realize the damage that all the toxic chemicals were doing, that they were increasing the disease and sabotaging my health, I decided to start taking some charge, and I started ditching some products and substances that were preventing some risk in my body, and I started to replace them with things that were going to provide nourishment and that will work alongside my body's natural ability to heal itself. Again, I do believe the body was designed to heal itself when it receives what it needs. And sometimes we forget, how valuable our bodies are. And I often ask myself, what does my health cost? Because, I wouldn't put sugar water into my car, even though it's a really cheap fuel and gas is really starting to increase in its prices. I would not put the sugar water in my car, but sometimes I will settle for putting cheap fuel in this amazing body that God has given me. But I know that knowledge is power. And so with the classes like this, with you getting more information, connecting to communities that can help you, you can have the best tools that you need to help rid yourself of some of the confusion and some of the helplessness that you may feel as you're working to really replace those things that may be harming you. So let's just talk about some of these things that you can do. The first thing is to actually learn to read labels. Okay, you want to ditch the junk, but how do you know? How do you know what to let go? So we're just going to talk about just a few of these ingredients that can be present for you. And we found that I do an assessment, a Zyto assessment, and we found in some of those assessments with people that it's identified some stressors. Some of these things are causing stress on the body, and there's other things that cause stress on your body. So it's important for you to recognize if these things are around and if they're in ingredients. And oftentimes manufacturers don't have to tell you everything that's in a product. So you may have to do a little bit more research. But let's think about it. Formaldehyde is all over the place. It's a preservative, and it's often used in your lotions, your cosmetics, baby wipes. It's in furniture, it's in carpet, it's in rugs. If you're getting new carpet and furniture, it's important that you know how to air those things out, because it's a known carcinogen and it can cause skin, it can cause a lot of respiratory irritations. Phthalates, these are a group of chemicals that are found in personal care products. Many plastics and vinyls have them, and they affect your endocrine system. That's your reproductive system. That's your hormonal health, and they even potentially cause cancer. We have VOCs. short for volatile organic compounds. They're gases that are emitted into the air, and they're found in a lot of building materials, but they're also in your home and personal products. They're in gasoline. They're even in things like glues and permanent markers. And just breathing in the VOCs can cause your eyes, nose, throat irritation, as well as difficulty in breathing. It can cause nausea, even damage your central nervous system and some other organs. I think a lot of this is one of the things that I was having trouble with as a kid. And then there's the SL sulfates, okay? These are surfactants that are commonly used as an emulsifying cleansing agent. You'll usually find them in your household cleaning products like your laundry detergents, your spray cleaners, your dishwasher detergents. In other words, they kind of keep things mixed up, but they also help them create a lather, which is psychological, okay? Oftentimes they're synthetically derived and they have the potential to really cause skin irritation. It's something you really want to look for. And then this next one, the MEAs, the DAs, the TAs, these are found in many of your household and your personal care products. They've been linked to organ system toxicity, okay? This is really serious. And they also are one of those things that accumulate in your body and cause cancer over time. Triclosans, you may be hearing a lot about this. It's in many of your antibacterial soaps, your hand sanitizers, your detergents, as well as many of your toothpaste, deodorants, your cosmetics, your plastics, so much more. And it really affects your thyroid and your endocrine system, again, your hormones. And it's recently banned. It's recently banned by the FDA. It was recently banned for use in antiseptic washes, but it's still been found in so many other products like your toothpaste, your cosmetics, and even your clothing, your kitchenware, your furniture, and your toys. All of these things are so important to look for. And then there's that word fragrance. Okay, it can be on a label and it can contain oh my goodness, an enormous list of ingredients that a company doesn't have to, they're not required to disclose to you because it's considered a trade secret. Okay, that means the product can contain some awful ingredients and the consumer wouldn't even know it. Okay, these chemicals often are linked to cancer, reproductive and developmental toxicities, allergies, and sensitivities. So why are we taking this risk? And let me just tell you, did a little research in ancient days when women went through menopause and things like that, they didn't have some of the issues that we have today because they were more in line with God's design for their body. They just kind of moved through their body going through puberty and then their reproductive years and then their menopause. And it was just kind of a smooth transition. Nothing like what we're experiencing today. And we really believe a lot of that is because of the many environmental toxins that are affecting us. And these are just a few of the ingredients that you may want to avoid when you're bringing these products into your home. But it is, I'll say, exhausting because we're talking about, having to read the labels, wondering if they're safe, doing all the research. But I do encourage you, at least take a quick look at your cabinet and what's in your cabinet. And do you see any of these ingredients? Snap a picture of it. Let others see it. Talk to the manufacturers of some of your favorites, okay? But for me, one of the simplest things that I could do, and I think one of the best decisions that I made, was to begin to switch into the use of premium essential oils, to begin to replace some of the fragrances, especially the candles that I was using, because I was a candle queen, okay? I just didn't know that having those candles was the same as smoking in my home. So let me just talk a little bit about the basics of essential oils. What are they? Where do they come from? How do they work? Just briefly. If you enjoy the scent of a rose, then you've experienced that aromatic quality of essential oils. They're naturally occurring. They're volatile, meaning that they quickly go into the air, not that they're explosive, but they're found in the seed, the bark, the stem, the roots, the flower, all other parts of the plant. And they're both beautifully and powerfully fragrant. They give plants that distinguished smell. They protect the plants, and they also play a role in plant pollination. And in addition to their intrinsic benefits to plants and being beautifully fragrant to people, They have been long been used in food preparation, for beauty treatment, and for healthcare practices, all the way back to the Egyptians. And now that we've just talked about how to use them, I want to walk you through just some of the things that I have found when I'm ordering. Okay, because essential oils um, are so potent and so wonderful. They're just really an excellent way to replace the room sprays, the plug-ins, the candles, the perfumes. Um, and some of my favorite I'll just mention right now is thieves, mainly because think about the plants that you're going to get in this blend. You're going to get some clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, rosemary. I mean, can't get all that in the garden. There's lemon is a perfect essential oil when you're getting a pure one, as is lavender and peppermint. Stress Away is awesome because it has that copaiba in it. It has lime, it has cedarwood, some ocotea, and some lavender. And these are all very relaxing and soothing. Or you could get like a citrus fresh, which you can get a blend of orange, tangerine, mandarin, grapefruit, lemon, spearmint. All of these are really refreshing and mood boosting, as well as really supporting the immune system. One of my favorites is just Peace and Calming. It has the tangerine, the orange, the lang lang, patchouli, blue tansy. It's so balancing, it's really grounding. And it was just a perfect way for me to replace all those candles that I love so much. Of course, you probably want to make sure that you've got a real quality diffuser, because diffusing will vaporize essential oils and gets them into the air that you're breathing. And not only does that help purify the air, especially those of us that live in the city, but it also enhances your spiritual awareness, can stimulate your olfactory receptors and activate regions in that brain, the limbic system, that are really associated with memory and emotion. So much more. We won't get into all the science there. But again, as I mentioned, for me, I was a candle queen, and I did not realize that I was damaging my health and the health of children. Children were diagnosed with asthma when they were babies. I was diagnosed with onset adult asthma, and the doctors told me the kids would be on medication the rest of their life. The doctors couldn't figure out what medication would work with me. And when we began to realize that it was toxins, I got rid of the candles. I started using essential oils. The girls, we were able to get them totally off of any medication. In fact, the doctor took asthma off of my chart because it really wasn't asthma. And so I am so grateful for that. And they're so easy to use. I mean, talk about safety. You just need a few drops. You can add more as you see fit for what you're using. And the thing about Young Living is you can apply to the skin without any harm, because you know exactly what's in there. There's only the oil. And remember, anything you put on your skin goes into your bloodstream. So keep it simple, just drop one drop on your skin. You may use a carrier oil that you have, like coconut oil or grapeseed oil. And then you could do more if you want that. But I like to use thieves a lot of times because it really helps to boost the immune system, especially during this time. And you can get a cool mist ultrasonic diffuser. So the oils will be protected from heat, because you don't want to use the heat can kind of change the constituency of the oils that you're using. And remember, all of Young Living diffusers have that 1-year warranty. But also keep in mind that Young Living has the line of vitality oils, which means they can be ingested. And that is approved by the FDA. And that's another reason to read the labels when you're buying something. If it says don't ingest it, there's a reason for that. But with Young Living, the same oil that's in their vitality line is the same oil that's in the regular line, but they mark it so you know that they can be safely ingested, just as the FDA has asked us. So, people ask, why do I use Young Living? So let's explain. Let me take a moment and just do that for you, because I had to learn the hard way. All these essential oils were not equal. I spent a lot of money trying to find cheaper ones, using them. Some helped, but most didn't help as well. And many were very, very harmful. Okay. Because it was so much that I just didn't understand. And so I started to read the labels. And that's when I learned that the FDA says that there only has to be 5% of a pure natural oil in a bottle in order for that bottle to be labeled as pure and natural. So everything in the bottle may not be pure and natural if only 5% of the oil is. And so that was really discouraging because I didn't know how much, what companies were doing. What I learned about Young Living is that they come with something called Seed to Seal. And they're the only company I know that provides this. They are the premier company that has started testing, and they're committed to the environment. They're committed to making sure that this entire process is pure and has this high quality from the seed of the oil to the sealed bottle. And you can be assured that you're getting a quality product that's made from the highest quality essential oils and other naturally derived ingredients. So think about some of these guidelines. I mean, first of all, their plant material is grown on their own corporate owned farms. Very few, if any, other companies have their own farms, and they carefully vet any partner farms that they have. They have to meet the same standards, and you can visit them at any time. They use super sustainable farming and sourcing practices to provide the purest oil. They take great care to preserve and protect the natural resources. So if they're tearing down trees, they always are replanting. They hand weed their fields, and there is zero use of pesticides. It often makes me wonder why the oils don't cost more. The oils that that they use retain all of their natural constituents and their therapeutic properties. And they use a very food grade distiller. We had one lady that was allergic to an oil because it had iron in it. It was because it was distilled in a distiller that was made of iron instead of stainless steel. And then Young Living uses a very low pressure when they're doing distillation. When you use a low pressure, you get more constituents in the oil over a longer period of time. But of course, it's easier and cheaper to use a high pressure and to kick out more oil. So a lot of companies will do that, use a higher pressure so they can get more oil in a shorter amount of time. And then every step of the way, they do a lot of testing in-house and a lot of third-party testing. And they review every step of the production. At any point, if it doesn't meet their standards, they will throw it out. They will not use it. And we've seen that happen many times. We won't have an oil sometime because it doesn't meet their standard. And I appreciate that. It saves me a lot of work. So let's just talk about a few things that are important for you to look at if you're going to reduce your toxic load. It may come to a surprise to you that your everyday products like your soaps, your shampoos, your air fresheners, your cleaning supplies, your makeup, all that I've listed earlier, many items within this industry, they're not highly regulated, okay? And we as a consumer are led to believe they're safe, but they're not taken off the market until someone tells them it's not safe, okay? So it's up to you to make sure that you're getting something that's not going to increase your toxic load. So I believe you wanna look for, especially with your soaps that are not antibacterial, okay? Remember, we talked about that. That will sabotage your health. Antibacterial soaps actually kill the good bacteria on your body, and they increase your resistance to antibiotics. So when you need one, you would have to have more and more of a higher dosage of antibiotic in order for it to work in your body. The CDC just recommends that we just use plain soap and water. But unfortunately, many of those soaps have a lot of extra stuff in it, okay? And I don't know if you've ever wondered if you have a bar of soap, how it gets all soft and mushy in the bathroom. Okay, that's because there's all these synthetic things in the bar. And that's what I like about Young Living soaps. They're solid to the last bit. I used to make my own soap because I was so concerned about what was in it. And it wasn't until I had the Young Living soap that it had the same quality of what I was making myself. My favorite one is their Thieves Cleansing Soap because it has that Thieves blend in it, but it also has colloidal oatmeal. And it's just a really nice moisture-rich base, okay? So it's real soft. It's not drying to the skin. It's a natural, has that natural exfoliator. but it removes dirt and excess oil without drying the skin. It has some coconut, olive, jojoba, wolfberry seed oils in it. I just love that. And it's just got a nice creamy lather that's natural. It doesn't have synthetic things added to it to make it lather. Okay. So it leaves my skin nice and clean, as well as soft and safe. It's not dried out. Now, I know it's so convenient for us now to have a hand sanitizer around. We're using so much of it now, but you want to use a hand sanitizer that's really safe, okay? And the Thieves hand sanitizer is perfect because the whole family can use it. It stops the spread of germs. It's 99.9% effective against germs. It's mild. It's you can get it in a larger size, but I like this little convenient size I can carry with me. It's moisturizing. So people are always borrowing my hand sanitizer because it doesn't dry out their hands because of the aloe vera and the plant-based glycerin that's in it. And you don't get any chemical or sticky residue. And then I really love, it doesn't have any of the petrochemicals in it. It doesn't have mineral oil in it, paraffins, sulfates, phthalates, synthetic fragrances, dyes, any preservatives. And then it also has that wonderful Thieves blend in it, plus a little peppermint. So you're getting that added protection. And then of course, our lotions is another thing that have so many synthetic fragrances in it. We really, really, really need to be careful with the lotions. Again, anything you put on your skin goes into your bloodstream, okay? So here we have some that have no paraffins, no sulfates, no phthalates, no synthetic fragrances, no synthetic colorings, and you can get the wonderful essential oils in it that help. They're ultra moisturizing. Again, it comes from the plant-derived oils and butters, and so it's made so it quickly absorbs into the skin, but it's going to help your system as well. So think about, and again, read the labels of the lotions that you're using. Toothpaste is another one that I didn't realize how harmful it can be. Look at the back of your toothpaste. Does it have a poison warning on it? Does it say do not ingest? And then think about this. How do you not ingest your toothpaste? Okay. I want to tell you my story. I had bleeding gums when I was in high school. Okay. And my father lost his teeth because of gum disease. He had wonderful teeth and they just started falling out. And so I started learning about good hygiene and the importance of brushing more often and the flossing and all that. But until 5 years ago, my dental appointments were really frustrating. I was doing all the flossing. I would brush and floss, just like the dentist said, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. My husband wasn't doing anything like that. I was doing all that. And then I'd go to the dentist and he would scold me about having better daily care. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? My teeth were sensitive. I tried different toothpaste. And then I started noticing the poison warnings that were on the toothpaste I was trying. And I was like, oh my goodness. So that's when I switched to the Thieves toothpaste. And I tell you, it made such a difference. 2 years ago was the first time I went, and he was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing. I just came from the dentist yesterday, and my dental hygienist, it didn't take her hardly any time to clean my teeth. And I was like, oh, that was quick. And she said, oh, you're one of my easiest patients. There's very little recession or cavities. It's just keep doing what you're doing. And what I'm doing is just using the Thieves toothpaste. I ditched all the other stuff. I ditched all the other types of the toothpaste, the mouthwash. I only use the Thieves now. Because the Thieves doesn't have any of the fluoride in it, okay? It's free of harmful peroxides. It doesn't have any SLSs, no paraffins, no phthalates, no mineral oil, no synthetics. It doesn't have none of the preservatives. And then it's infused with those essential oils. And what's interesting for me, it removes the stains. It helps prevent the tartar buildup. It fights the plaque. And I have healthy gums. I'm just so excited about that. And then the gargle, the mouthwash is so amazing because whenever you gargle, it helps with the vagus nerve. So I get an additional protection by using that to boost my immune system. So that's pretty exciting to me as well. You know, people are always asking me another thing, what do you do? What do you use on your skin? That's another area where, again, I stress what you put on your skin goes into your body and into your bloodstream. And when it comes to skincare, it's not just what you put on, but it's also the diet, which I talk a lot about. We're not doing a lot about that today, but the diet is important, what you put in, but getting rid of the toxins again in your skincare is really important. And whatever you're using, know what's in it. I was using all kind of toxic personal products. I mean, I was even using bleaching creams at one time. And then I started researching the ingredients, and then that's when I started ditching it. So I use a very simple, I use the Art line, very simple. I just use a simple cleanser, simple toner, simple light moisturizer. But Young Living has a different skincare line for every skincare need. And you can trust that they don't have the toxins in it that you'll see in other things as well. Now, I think one of the main things, if people could do anything to really help their whole families, but it's also one of the most difficult, is going to be the cleaning products. Okay, we all know how Mother taught us to clean. Okay, we have these cleaning standards, the things that we've been taught, and it's hard to give those up. But what I learned the hard way was I was slowly poisoning myself and my family. At one time, I was using ammonia and steel wool straight without a mask to clean floors. I mean, I was proud of the way I was cleaning, but that's one of the reasons that I was damaging my respiratory system. And so when I learned about the household cleaner, I just couldn't believe it. Not only is it safer, not only is it effective, but it is so inexpensive. Okay. And there's a whole entire line, but this cleaner in this one little bottle, you can get 20 to 30, 16-ounce bottles of cleaner. Okay. That's under $1.50. All right. And there's 60 different ways to use this cleaner. You can ditch your disinfectant sprays, which are actually pesticides. You can ditch your bleach, which is extremely harmful, just by using this one cleaner. And you'd be amazed at how safe, how effective it is. Look at our Facebook page, and you'll see a little demonstration on there that we just put up yesterday for everyone. The dish soap is another one. The laundry soap, we'll talk about it first, because I heard someone talk about how they were itchy and everything, and they were having to do over-the-counter drugs for these itches. Every time they go to sleep, they were itching. And one of the main things to look at that time is your laundry soap. Okay. Again, because what's on your clothes gets in your bloodstream. Okay. I encourage you to review the documentary Stink. I needed to have detergent that didn't aggravate my respiratory system. And for a while, I was able to just use the Thieves Household Cleaner because it works as a detergent as well. And then they came out with the laundry detergent, and that was a bonus. Okay, but it's so concentrated. And I have to say this about all these products. They are so concentrated. If you used to pouring a lot in, you'll waste your money. You just need a little. In fact, the other night I heard a lady talk about how she used this one bottle of Thieves laundry soap, and she turns it into 3 gallons, okay, by dividing it up into 3, by adding 2 capfuls of the Thieves soap and a few drops of the lemon, and then she fills it with water and uses a few pumps with every load of clothes. It lasts, forever, it seems like. So it's so concentrated, but so effective, again, because you don't have any of the toxins in it, the SLSs, the dyes, the petrochemicals, the formaldehyde, phosphates, all these kind of things are in the things that you're using now, including with laundry detergents. You'll have optical brighteners that are just there to make you feel like your clothes are whiter, but they actually are not doing anything but damaging your health. What happens with the laundry soap is they're using enzymes to combat the dirt and the stains and the strong odors. And it's gentle, it's plant-based, And it's so safe for sensitive skin, safe for your skin, your children's skin, your pets, okay, even. And so all of these are just ways that you can immediately start to improve your health by ditching those things that are toxic. And then the dish soap is another one. Again, you've heard a lot about companies greenwashing their products so they can make people think they're naturally ingredient, and they still have fragrances, dyes, they still have triclosan in it. They have a lot of endocrine disruptors and the synthetic ingredients. So again, don't be fooled by the bubbles, okay, that you think are cleaning your dishes better. It's called pharmaceutical elegance, okay? And it's a visual cue that they know your brain will make you think you're getting a cleaner sink full of dishes, okay? In reality, it doesn't make a difference, okay? They've added a chemical to cause those bubbles, and it doesn't affect the cleaning process at all. It just makes us feel good, okay? All you really need are natural plant-based surfactants, okay? Surfactants are natural. There are some synthetics, okay, but we're looking at a natural one that you add to soap to break down the surface tension between the water that you're using to wash and the grease, the oil in your dishes. And when you switch to a natural cleaning option, there's less bubbles perhaps because you're using the plant-based surfactants instead of synthetic chemicals. But the end result is the same. You're gonna get clean, sparkling dishes without the toxins, okay, that are gonna affect you. And again, go check out our team group Facebook page and see the demonstration that's on there. I think you'll just really, really love it. One of the hacks that I have loved is I use half of the Thieves dish soap with half of the Thieves cleaner, and I put it in one of those little soap dispensers that has a little sponge on the end. And I just use that to clean my tub out. I don't need it scouring or anything. It's just so wonderful to do it that way. It's easy, it's quick, and it's safe and effective. And then one other thing I really want to talk about, many of us use a spray all the time because we think we're disinfecting things. And actually, we are spraying pesticide all over our homes, all over ourselves. And if you read the label of that can that you're spraying all over things, thinking you're disinfecting things, and it'll tell you oftentimes to be used outside, not to get it on your body. And then look at the ingredients, you will see how unsafe that is. So I have been excited to use the Thieves spray. It's naturally derived. It's very effective. You don't need to rinse it. You can use it around the whole family, including your children, your pets, and it's so portable. And this is what I carry. I spray everything when I travel. I spray everything down with this because it's just a powerhouse, okay, when it comes to cleaning, but it's not gonna be toxic. It uses a denatured alcohol, and it uses soap ends that combine with the Thieves essential oils, so you can get this effective way of cleaning, okay, and freshening that's going to be helpful and not harmful. And I encourage you, go to the website, look at the ingredients, and you're just going to see it doesn't have all the other toxins that are in many of the things that we have been trained to use over and over again. We think we have to have it. It's just killing us. Now, I just encourage you, take the Thieves Household Clean Home Challenge. Get a bottle of household cleaner, get you the dish soap. You can get the lemon essential oil if you want to, as an option if you want to add more lemon smell to this. Use this QR code. You're going to find for just pennies a day, you'll be able to ditch the toxic cleansers in your home. I find that I don't need any other cleaners when I use these, because there's 60 or more ways that you can make everything that you're using in your home. But I encourage you, try it for 30 days. Put away your other cleaners, use only the Thieves household cleaner and ditch the soap, add a lemon if you want to. Keep in mind, you're gonna make 20 to 30 16-ounce bottles of all-purpose cleaner, okay? And make sure to ask, if you haven't gotten it, the resource that tells you how to make 60 uses for the Thieves cleaner. It's so quick, it's so effective, but you're going to be doing the best thing to help your family in the long run. I just can't express that enough. I know there's several of you, hey, you're ready. You're ready to let's go all in. And so I did want to make sure that you knew about this particular loyalty bundle, because here you've got over $200 worth of product and you're going to get it for only 160. And keep in mind, just that one bottle of Thieves makes, again, 20 to 30 bottles, 16-ounce bottles of cleaner. You can get 3 gallons out of your laundry soap. So it's amazing what you get when you do that. And again, there's just, you can shoot that QR code and see the best way to get that. Many of you, thought about ditching toxins in your home, and it did seem overwhelming. So that's why I wanted to talk to you today about how to keep it manageable. Just start with one room at a time, then move to another. It doesn't have to be an overnight process, though many of you it will be. And you don't have to spend a lot of hours online reading labels. I mean, that's why I wanted to talk to you today, to show you I've done a lot of the legwork for you. And for many of you, I did want to tell you, you can save money if you're enrolled in the Loyalty Rewards program, because you immediately unlock the 24% discount. You can order what you need on a monthly basis. There's no minimum of what you do. We've got over 600 products that have been tested to make sure that you're getting the best and you're not getting these toxins into your home and into your system. And one thing you can always know for sure is what you see is what you get. You can always know exactly what's in the bottle. And that's what I really like. I can trust that. My passion is just to help you have better health and have better opportunities. And so I've really enjoyed today sharing my story with you. I can't wait to hear your stories of how you've ditched and switched. And just because we're in the city does not mean that we have to settle for more dis-ease because of all the environmental toxins that we're exposed to. So just take steps today, evaluate your toxic load. What's in the environment? And when you grew up, what were you exposed to? The mold, asbestos, aluminum, what's your toxic load? And then start today to just reduce that. I'm giving you a lot of ways of doing that. Just shoot this QR code here or visit naturallynozella.com, and you can learn other ways and products that would be helpful for you and your family. I can't wait to hear your stories, especially about how you're moving toward a healthier family. So thank you so much for being with me today, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.